Thank you for staying with us. You are still watching Good Morning Kenya. My name is Mike Migwi, and now we talk about matters different from politics. Now we delve into the next generation of surveying, which has advanced and improved significantly over the years, and thanks to advancements in technology and its contribution to the infrastructure development, land management, and environmental conservation. That is what we want to delve into that. Nelly Mbogwa, who is the Deputy President, Institution of Surveyors of Kenya, is joining me here on set to talk about this matter. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing very well, and yes, thank you for having me.
Karibu sana. Now,
yes,
we delve into matters of surveying. We are bridging the physical and digital worlds. But before we get into that, what is the state of survey in Kenya?
Great, thank you very much. I'm going to probably just introduce a little bit more who surveying is, or who Institution of Surveyors of Kenya is. Yeah. The Institution of Surveyors of Kenya is a professional body comprising of close to 6,000 members, both in the full membership, graduate membership, and student membership. And we have 8 chapters that comprise of surveying, or what we generally know as surveying. It's not just about the physical surveying or the land surveying. We have valuers who are part of the surveying profession. We also have property managers, people who help collect rent, manage your property, maintain it well. We have land surveyors themselves, the ones who do the physical boundary creation. We have the building surveyors who again do the maintenance. Most of them, you'll find them within the government employment. And then we have land administration surveyors. They deal with the creation of titling for the properties. Once the surveyor has done the physical measurements, they give you a title. Then we have estate agents who also go about helping in selling and buying. So surveying is very broad. Institutional Surveyors of Kenya therefore takes care of 8 diverse professionals. We also have the geospatial surveying that is part of it. So surveying is broad, and there is quite a lot happening. Indeed, I would say that you cannot surveying is the base of everything. Yes, it is because it's about dealing with the land. So nothing happens until a surveyor has spoken. Yeah. Nothing happens until a surveyor has come to the ground, and surveying is growing. Surveying is doing well. It is growing. It's getting bigger than probably when I was last year. We have many more new members in the institution. So
in terms of the uptake, in terms of the students that are going to school to study surveying, yes, the number is rising.
Yes, it is. It is.
So now let's get into the state of surveying in Kenya.
Yes.
What can you say is the state of surveying within the country?
I would say it's really broader. Again, if you look at, for instance, the real estate cost itself, we have come from, let's say 30 years ago, real estate, which was land economy then, was having about, would on a 1 year produce about 20 members or 20 graduates. Now we're talking about close to 2,000 when you combine all the institutions that are doing, that are training surveyor, so to speak, as we have agreed that it's property management, it's land surveying itself, geospatial surveying. So it's growing in a big way, and there's a lot happening in terms of technology. There's a lot happening in terms of opportunities for the surveyors.
You know, we are living now in the world where everything is changing. We have AI, we have digital migration. How is technology now impacting surveying, and how is it helping this profession now contribute to Kenya's development?
Thank you very much. When surveying started years back, it used to be, if we think of the Bible, surveying would be by virtue of either you take steps or you just view. If you think of Joshua telling people to in the Bible saying, go survey the land, come back and give us a report. That's basically it. It started with the physical, doing things in the most rudimentary way, using chains to measure. You can imagine how heavy it would be. So you take a chain and then you have to come back and take the measurements and then calculate those measurements to make sure that you are able to tell the exact dimension of the area, document it.
Yeah.
A lot of inaccuracies, a lot of mistakes would be made, data lost. But these things have now changed because most of the work right now is being done, it's at the click of a laser data. You can be able to pick your dimensions using a gadget. You can actually use a drone to pick all your points and be able to accurately, maybe with a 0.0 some meters of accuracy. So it's a lot of accuracy. In terms of valuations, we used to do physical measurements. We still do use physical measurements. We used to have physical maps, so you interpret your map from a physical map. Not anymore. Now you can use the Google map to help you quickly identify your plot, your piece of land that you're going to value. We have digital measurements. So it means then there's a lot of efficiency in terms of the work being done. So we are producing work faster. If you're doing 1,000 plots, you're surveying 1,000 plots, you are moving faster than you used to do before. So which means then if you're going to sell those plots, development moves faster. So there's a lot of efficiency, we have enhanced development in our country because of technology that has enabled us to be able to return give accurate information and also add to the speed. Yes.
Can we say that, will technology replace traditional ways of surveying, or it will just augment what people are used to?
Great. Surveying, technology cannot replace what a human being can do. The role of technology is to improve how we do things. So it cannot replace, because there are things that it is not able to, even when it can analyze information, somebody has to key in that information. So, and then that takes us to the opportunities. There has to be somebody who is keying in, who is providing that information. But better still, there is analyzing that technology will not be able to do, that has to be done by a human being. For instance, even when, let's take valuation, even when enhanced analysis of data is done by technology, I still have to put in my input, my opinion, my understanding, my judgment of the value of that property. So no, it will enhance efficiency, but it is unlikely that technology will take the role of a surveyor.
So there's also the need for surveyors to level up and enhance their skills in terms of adhering or now conforming to the digital age.
Yes, indeed. Because if you're not ready, technology either is about change. And you see, change, if you do not step into the change, it's likely to overtake you and you're left behind. So yes, surveyors must be able to adjust, improve, and become better using technology. Otherwise, they will not be able to deliver, which means then you cannot level up. If you're comparing yourself with the international standards, the timeliness, in any case, if you look at institutions, banking institutions who consume our valuations, they would want a valuation in a few days. They want it in 3 days, 4 days, because the client wants to get their mortgage, their loan approved pretty fast. So this means then that you have to look to enhance your speed. Remember years back when we used to use typewriters or handwritten documentation. Now, if you are still using that technology, it will take longer for us to be able to produce our reports. So yes, we have to embrace, we have to be up to speed, we have to be ahead of technology, so to speak, and be better so that we can serve the public faster, and again, more efficiently.
How is ISK now helping, especially young professionals, to embrace these advancements?
The Institution of Surveyors of Kenya, as I mentioned, is a professional body, and our role is to protect the interest of our members to begin with. And that is why it's important for any person that is in the seven chapters or disciplines that I've spoken about to be part of the Institution of Surveyors of Kenya, is because your interests are covered. So if you have any issue, you have raised an invoice, you have done some work, you've not been paid, you go back to the Institution of Surveyors of Kenya, your professional body that protects you. So for the students, and of course we also do training. We train our members. We have continuous professional development opportunities where we ensure that they are taken care of. Indeed, when you finish the university, you still come and sit a postgraduate examination, practical examination that helps you again come up, you're mentored, become a better person. So what Institution of Surveyors of Kenya is doing is a lot beyond just protecting you when you are a member. We train you, but for the students, we are very intentional. And for instance, today we will be at the University of Nairobi. We'll be speaking to the real estate students there, just to mentor them, to tell them how it is in the world of practice, that build what opportunities are there. We want to encourage them and let them know there are indeed diverse opportunities for them when they come out. So we mentor them. We let them know what opportunities are there. We give them the opportunities to be interned, or when they're even in college, we allow them to come into our companies and be able to do their internships there, train and become, just see what it is like to be a surveyor out there in the field.
Yes.
Yes.
There's something last year that the surveyors were calling for, and was the transition to mathematically defined boundaries to resolve land agreements. And there were 3 documents that were developed. You're talking about Survey and Marketing Bill of 2021, Land Surveyors Registration Bill, and Survey and Mapping Policy of 2021. What is the progress?
We haven't made we have not progressed that well, but we are working, it's work in progress, and I hope that towards the end of this year we can have those bills finalized with, so that we are able to serve. So it's work in progress, but we haven't completed.
Yes. What are some of the issues that it is addressing? These documents are addressing. Basically,
is saying that we need to have all documentation. You see what happens when we have the old way of having general boundaries. General boundaries are not well defined. For instance, you can find your title reads your title reads 10 acres.
Yes.
In the general boundary, it's not definite that it's actually 10 acres because the actualization, the accuracy has not been done. It's not been accurately documented, measured without, it doesn't have georeferencing, it doesn't have accurate point to the corner or to each of the beacons, so that you can be able to say, indeed, my title is 10 acres. So there are instances where you find you're holding a title, it is 10 acres, but when you go to the ground now, when you do the mathematical, the georeferencing, the size can be less or it can be more. So that is why it remains, so to speak, not confirmed until it is georeferenced. So these bills then will help us to ensure that every part of our country has a georeference to it, has been mapped up properly and documented properly, so that their movement, you can clearly pick it even yourself. Probably if you have a Google map, you can put those points and be able to say, the coordinates, you can actually see this is exactly where my piece of land is. So then there is no need for movement. There will be no movement of anybody going this, 2 meters to the other person's land because it's very accurate. Yes.
So, and that is with the incorporation of innovation and technology.
Correct.
How is that also helping in urban planning now?
Thank you very much again. Technology is very, very important because you see technology helps in segregating. Urban planning is about really trying to look at what are the people's needs. What do we need? Do we need an industry? Do we need housing? How do they correlate? Do we need offices? So if the AI or the technology then helps us to see what size of land do we have, how do we demarcate it, how do we administer it the best way possible so that we don't have conflict, we don't have an industry where human beings should not be sleeping, mixing up. So urban planning works very well with technology and surveying because it helps us know we have 20 acres, or let's assume we have 100 acres of land in Nairobi. Of course, that's not what we have, but I'm just using that as an example. We then decide which are the human needs. How do we put it into use so that there's no conflict between the different uses that we want to put ourselves to. So technology is very important in helping us plan our urban land. And of course, know where do I put a road. And of course, surveyors come in helping us know the type of soil, the gradient, and therefore the corners to take in terms of, the roads. They're very, very key. In the land surveying, they themselves are very key, or engineering surveyors are very key in terms of helping demonstrate where a road should be, why it should be there for safety and all of that. Yes.
What would you say now with the emergence of technology and incorporation of the same into surveying, what would you say are the biggest challenges now in that field?
There are very many challenges, not just probably technological challenges, but we find one, of course, land doesn't expand. So really it's about management, what we have. I think we did speak the last time I was here about taking care of it. So the fact that we can't have another piece of land, we can't add Kenya to some more square meters.
Yes.
But we also have challenges in terms of technology itself. We may not have the cost. If you really want a very good survey equipment, it's very expensive. And of course, then that has an impact on especially the young surveyors who are coming into the field. If you want to set up your own institute, your own company, it becomes a bit of a challenge. You can't, raising that money is not easy. Also, the training part of it to utilize it is also expensive. And of course, that has to mean then the institutions are trained adaptive to the modern technology. Because also the universities must be able to train the students so that as they come out, they are very ready and able to use those tools. Yes.
Now, the Global Surveyors Day is coming up on the 21st of March this year.
Yes.
And the theme is next-gen surveying, next-gen for surveying, bridging the physical and digital worlds. Briefly talk about it.
Yes. The International Surveyors Day happens every 21st of March. And the focus is really about the theme for this year is about bridging the surveying, bridging the physical and digital world. It's looking at where are we moving to? Where is the world going to? So that, again, like we say, the surveyors are ahead of time in terms of technology, and also bringing, not just looking at the physical land, which is where surveyors are concentrated, but also how else do we bring our physical world into the digital world and completely thrive without being impacted by change that we talked about. It is happening on Friday, And for ourselves, we have several things set up. We have land clinics that are set up to be able to help the common mwananchi or the Wanjiko, so to speak, know what we do, how we can support her, how we can we answer her questions. What do you do with when you have a land dispute? When do you call a surveyor? Which surveyor do you call? Why do you need to work with a registered surveyor? Why do you need to work with a registered estate agent who will not, take away your money because they are professionally trained? They also have taken a license. They are registered under an act of parliament, which is the Estate Agents Act or the Valuers Valuers Act Cap 532. So there is a lot of that we offer to our public during those land clinics. We tell you when you have a problem with your title, where do we go? How do you even do a search for your land? Why should you do even that title search? So that you make sure that your title is clear, there is no one who is infringing into it. All of that is information that we pass during those land clinics. And of course, we also do things to do with mentorship, which is what I'm saying this afternoon. We'll be at the University of Nairobi to do mentorship with our students, just again to let them know how practical and the opportunities that are, how practical surveying is and what opportunities are available for them. So it's about celebrating a surveyor. It's about celebrating the eight disciplines of our profession. And of course, like you've mentioned, it's not just Kenya. It is a global celebration. Yes.
Now, and I will take this as your closing remark. How can the public now better understand the role of surveyors in their everyday lives?
Now, thank you very much once for that question. Surveyors, valuers, estate agents, property manager, they do play a very, very crucial role in our everyday life. As I mentioned, you need a surveyor who will help you know this is where your boundary is, this is where you are. If you want to subdivide your land and you want to give your your son, your daughter, a section of what you have, you need a surveyor. If you have, you want to sell and make some money, you need a surveyor. If you want to know how much your property is worth, you need a valuer. If you want to take a loan with the bank will send you to a valuer. If you want to know, if you have even your small little property or your big apartment and you want somebody to collect rent for you, maintain it for you, and value for you, you need a surveyor. If you want to take an insurance policy, you need somebody to tell you how much to insure that property for. So there's, on a daily basis, we interact with the public, and there's so much we offer them, and we are more than happy to provide professional services to them.
Yes. Thank you so much for making time. That was our time. And thank you so much for coming and talking about the general perspective of surveying and the state of surveying within the country. That is Nelly Mbugwa, who is a Deputy President, Institution of Surveyors of Kenya, joining us here on Good Morning Kenya to talk about the next generation of surveying, which is bridging the physical and the digital worlds in surveying. My name is Mike Migu. This is where we wrap this conversation. Good Morning Kenya continues shortly with Vivian Ndegwa. Stay with us.